I spent the past couple of days telling people all the things not to eat for Thanksgiving, so I thought it's only fair that I give you some ideas of things to have for Thanksgiving. And you'll notice we got a little snow here in southeastern Minnesota last night, yesterday, whatever. Hey, I'm Dr. Patty Barch. I'm a traditional naturopath, founder and owner of Naturally Unbridled Wellness and naturallyunbridled.com, where we focus on wellness solutions, not disease management. This is Down the Ridge with Dr. Patty. This is not medical advice. It's for entertainment purposes only. Nothing I say is true. Don't listen to me. All right, let's talk about delicious and healthy things to eat for Thanksgiving. I started thinking about this morning as I was getting ready to go to work, and I was getting all excited because I freaking love food and I love to cook. I don't love the dishes all that much. I really don't. But I do love thinking about food and combining flavors and colors and making food visually appealing, delicious and nutritious, nourishing. So, first of all, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on the turkey. I don't do the turkey. My sister-in-law, Jenny, always gets a nice organic turkey, cooks it in a brine, which I realized I did forget to tag her yesterday. I want to say now, I'm thinking it's apple juice that she brines the thing in. I'll try to remember, but someone could call me out on that, and then I'll remember, okay? Anyway, you want to roast the turkey in the oven. The turkey fryer thing is a bad idea because most people use vegetable oil or canola oil. I keep meaning to do a video on oils. In fact, that's the one I started the other morning and was crazy foggy and I had to quit so I could focus on driving. So anyway, don't do the turkey fryer. Roast the turkey in the oven. Ideally, use a roaster pan and not aluminum foil for all the reasons we talked about aluminum being a neurotoxin. But if the only time of the year that you use an aluminum baking dish is, your Thanksgiving turkey, it's not going to kill you. Okay, so skipping the turkey. Let's talk potatoes. So everybody, people love mashed potatoes. They're delicious. Do your thing, whatever. But here's a thought I had, and I've made some potatoes this way before. Red skin potatoes, wash them, clean them up a little bit, steam them till they're fork tender. So you can stick a fork or a knife through them easily, but they're not really mush, okay? Then put those in a bowl. And you could wait for them to cool a little bit and cut them, depending on the size of the potato, into chunks or halves, that sort of thing. I'm getting more ideas on this as I'm talking. Anyway, so start with the steamed red potatoes. Then in a separate pan on the stove, you could melt some butter and gently brown some garlic, okay? So minced garlic in a little butter and just brown that because the caramelization of the garlic, that's delicious. And you could also use in this recipe some either dried chives or fresh chives. So then I would put the potatoes, probably a good maybe stick of butter, the garlic browned butter, and the chives, and I would use potato masher for that. And then I think I would probably put in sour cream. So it's almost going to be like a twice baked potato at that point. But this is where my head was going as I was coming down the ridge here, is that you could then mash that dish up, mix it up really good, and then you could put it in a baking dish, casserole dish, and put it in the oven. You could do some fresh grated Parmesan, or better yet, some cheddar over the top. And you could just bake that till it's a little bit browned and a little bit crispy, and I think that would be amazing. So that's one idea. Sweet potatoes. One of my favorite ways to do sweet potatoes, you can peel them or just scrub them, your call. But cube them into little cubes. I would say 1/2-inch cubes maybe, but you could do bigger if you wanted to. It's just going to take longer to cook them if they're bigger pieces. But cube them, put them in a bowl, some olive oil. But if you wanted to, you could just warm up some coconut oil so that it's liquid. Because the coconut oil actually is a nice flavor with the sweet potatoes. So anyway, toss the sweet potato chunks in either olive oil or coconut oil. And then you could either put the salt in the dish and toss it around, or you could spread them out on a parchment-lined baking sheet and sprinkle salt over there. And you could do black pepper as well. And then here's where you could get creative. Depending on your palate, you could do just salt and pepper, or salt maybe with or without pepper, and either something like a little cayenne. I'm a fan of the cayenne with the sweet potatoes, because you're getting salt, spicy, hot, or salt, sweet, and spicy all together. Or if you're more of a like sweeter side, you could do a little bit of cinnamon or nutmeg or even pumpkin pie spice, like sprinkle that over there, with the sweet potatoes. I think that would be lovely. Then another thought that I have 2 more dishes in my head that I'm going to spit out at you, no pun intended. Butternut squash. So butternuts, I've made this before. It's delicious. And you can interchange butternut squash or sweet potatoes for this recipe. But butternut squash can be a bit of a B word to slice up. I freely admit that. So if you don't have a big helper to help you cut your squash, like Corey likes to just cut the squash for me, so I keep all of these. But a big Santoku knife can be really good for this, or I don't have a cleaver, but if you have a cleaver, that could be good. Just to cut it, I would say cut it above the bulb end, right at the bottom of the neck, and that'll be the skinniest part of the squash. And then you've got a flat side to work on. It's a lot easier to cut when you have a flat side. There are also some heavy duty peelers, not just the regular like carrot or potato peeler, but a heavy duty peeler that has the blade is horizontal like a razor, like you would shave with, versus a vertical blade. And those heavy duty peelers, you can peel a butternut squash with those. And so you could do it that way, and then take out the seeds, of course, cube it up. So you're going to cube that, throw that in a bowl. Then you're going to get some Brussels sprouts. And depending on the size of those, maybe halves or quarters, whole if they're tiny, clean those up, toss those in the bowl with the butternut squash. Toss that around, and then a little bit with oil, like we talked about before, and salt and maybe some pepper. What was the thought that I had on that? Oh, balsamic vinegar and mustard. Put those in there too. So toss all, I actually will make that sauce, marinade, whatever it is, first in a little dish. So I'll put some olive oil, some spicy brown mustard or brown seeded mustard. You could use whatever, but I like that. And then some balsamic vinegar, and I'll mix that up, whisk that up in a small dish, then pour that together over the vegetables, toss that, and then you can salt that or not. Then here's the magic. You could put in some frozen cranberries, and they can still be frozen at the time. Put that in, toss that around, and you can bake those. So roast those until the butternut squash and the Brussels sprouts start to get a little bit of that brown color. Separately, you can also roast some pecans. You can just toss them in a little oil or just do them dry. Roast them a little till you got to watch them close because they go from zero to burnt to a crisp pretty quickly. But you could do pecan halves or whole pecans on a baking sheet, and then later you can add those to the dish with the butternut squash, the Brussels sprouts, and the cranberries. And then you can season that however you like, but I think with all that flavor that's in there with the mustard and the balsamic, just a little salt on there. And of course, I like to use a few different kinds of salt, but the Redmond's real salt, Himalayan pink salt, Celtic sea salt, and I do have some nice smoked salt or garlic salt, but I wouldn't use garlic on that one. Then the last thing I was going to mention is something for dessert. So you can have a wonderful dessert without the problem with pie. The problem with pie is, first of all, most likely the pie crust isn't organic. So it's made from flour that's made from wheat that's grown in a situation where glyphosate is used to either grow it or harvest it. So that's a problem. Gluten's a problem for some people. And then, hello, school bus. Jesus, what the fuck? Sorry. That's how I speak. This guy's nuts. Anyway, yeah, sorry. I got distracted. Dessert. I'll tell you about dessert tomorrow. This is getting long. Peace out, peeps. Have a healthy day.